This episode is brought to you by Omaha Steaks. Get the favorite gift package for only $69.99 by using code INSIDE, omahasteaks.com.
Hey, welcome back to Inside Gaming Daily for Thursday.
Valve is killing off games now! Well, new Half-Life has already claimed its first victim.
Those are just suggested headlines, by the way. You don't have to actually read them.
Valve made headlines recently for doing what a game studio is supposed to do. Make video games.
What? Over the last several years, Valve was much more interested in selling games than anything else. So, and making peripherals that everybody loves.
Psych, nobody. R.I.P. Steam controller.
I can't believe no one wanted a controller with no joysticks.
It's haptic, Brian. Get that through your screen.
It was suck stick.
Did you say suck stick?
Yes.
Nice.
But everyone celebrated the return of good guy Valve last month when they announced that they were resurrecting the Half-Life series with a new installment called Half-Life Alyx. It's for VR, but still, Valve is back.
I love you, Gabe. Thank you, Gabe.
Father Gabe.
Well, kinda. Because in order to make the new Half-Life, it looks like they've killed off another game that looked pretty cool. Valve is back, baby, back to not making games.
Oh, Brian, who's our latest victim here?
Yeah, so this all has to do with the indie studio Campo Santo. You might remember they made the well-received game Firewatch in 2016. It was a first-person adventure. You got to be a fire lookout in a national forest, just like we all wanted to do, and you unravel a mystery. It was spooky.
The game won all kinds of awards and established Campo Santo as a top-tier indie studio. And after Firewatch, they started working on their next game, In the Valley of the Gods. It was another first-person game, this time set in 1920s Egypt.
Prohibition. According to the game's Steam page, the game's protagonist is a filmmaker who would explore a remote and ancient valley in the Egyptian desert, uncovering treasure and treachery in pursuit of a discovery that could bring you fame and fortune.
It would be cool if the game was you getting to kill a documentary filmmaker. The enraged local.
This game sounds like a cool game to play. A trailer was shown in 2017 at the Game Awards, and everyone was stoked about an interesting new game from a proven indie developer.
Yeah, especially one that could maybe take a second swing at a game like Firewatch, because that game blew.
Yeah, it proved what we already knew, that jobs are boring.
Firewatch sucked, sorry.
And so do long-distance relationships. I miss you.
And a year later, things changed. Last year, Campo Santo was acquired by Valve.
Oh. Uh-oh, I see where this is growing. Brian?
Yeah, this is why we've been using the past tense to refer to In the Valley of the Gods. So after Campo Santo joined Valve, people got a little nervous about the future of In the Valley of the Gods, especially after Half-Life Alyx was unveiled and it was revealed that former members of Campo Santo were working on it.
And then last month, people noticed that some former Campo Santo devs had removed any mention of In the Valley of Gods from their Twitter bios.
Sometimes you gotta take it out.
I used to have machinima in my bio.
Ugh. And it turns out that they were right to be worried because one of the heads of Campo Santo made it official and announced that the game is on hold.
They're just taking a break.
You'd think they'd only have to kill half of the game.
Is that a Half-Life joke?
It is.
Campo Santo co-founder Jake Rodkin denied that In the Valley of the Gods had been canceled, but judging by what he told Polygon, its future isn't looking very good.
I'm sick of this cancel culture. What did he say, Brian?
He said, "We apologize for In the Valley of the Gods language and use of racial slurs. It is canceled."
When we were kids, it was okay to say those things. And Santa is white.
Was that a Megyn Kelly joke?
Yeah,
Nice.
it was. Remember
it.
when she said blackface was fine when she was a kid?
So yeah, Rodkin told Polygon, to fans looking forward to In the Valley of the Gods, it's probably clear that the optimistic 2019 at the end of the announcement trailer isn't going to be accurate. In the end, Valve time makes fools of us all, but yes, developers from the former Campo Santo team have joined other projects at Valve, including Half-Life Alyx.
You'd think they'd only need half the developers. He added that In the Valley of the Gods development is on hold, but it certainly feels like a project people can and may return to. And when that happens, we'll find an exciting way to let fans know. Skywriting.
We can still be friends.
Yeah, we all know what happened to projects on hold at Valve. Rodkin even seemed to reference that by mentioning Valve time.
They all know. Yeah, it's pretty clear that Half-Life Alyx is the first priority right now. It's set for a release date of March of next year.
And in the Valley of the Gods, well, that's TBD.
Very funny. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, see in 30 years, if ever.
Meanwhile, others who worked on the game seem to acknowledge that it's pretty much dead. Brian?
We're going to get to the sad details of its death in just a moment, but you know what else is pretty much dead? Omaha Steaks meat when you cook and eat it. The flavors, though, are incredibly alive. Is that a morbid ad throw? I feel
Who cares? Let's sell it!
This episode is brought to you by Omaha Steaks. This season, Omaha Steaks is sharing an amazing limited time offer with our listeners to get a jump on your holiday shopping. Go to omahasteaks.com and enter the code INSIDE in the search bar to order the favorite gift package. The gift all your friends and family will love for only $69.99. Order now and you'll get 4 6-ounce bacon-wrapped filet mignons, the most tender steak in the world, 4 savory premium pork chops, 4 Omaha Steaks burgers, 4 perfectly browned potatoes au gratin, 4 made from scratch caramel apple tartlets. What? An Omaha Steaks signature seasoning packet. You gotta have that. Plus, only for our listeners, a free 6-piece cutlery set and cutting board. All of this delicious food, plus the free cutlery set that they'll enjoy for years to come for only $69.99. Omaha Steaks, you know them, you love them. They're the most tender, the most flavorful, and you can only get steaks of this quality from Omaha Steaks. It's America's original butcher. Omaha Steaks is a 5th-generation family-owned company with over 100 years of expertise in delivering perfectly aged beef, hand-cut by master butchers in the heartland of America. Again, order now and you can get the favorite gift package plus the free 6-piece cutlery set and cutting board for only $69.99. Just go to omahasteaks.com and type INSIDE in the search bar. Don't wait, guys. This offer ends soon. It's Omaha Steaks. We love them here. I've had them. They're delicious. Order the favorite gift package today.
I'm full now. Yesterday, a former contract writer for Campo Santo who worked on In the Valley of the Gods posted what definitely seemed like a eulogy for the game. You notice a theme here? Mummies and death and things getting canceled by Valve.
Yeah, I wonder if Anubis is working on Half-Life. Or half of him.
Duncan5 posted a long Twitter thread about a 6-year experience working at Campo Santo, specifically how much he loved working on In the Valley of the Gods.
He said, quote, "I'm disappointed to be done with a game, that I really cared about. I'm excited for my colleagues who are on great new projects, but I was only ever a contract writer on In the Valley of Gods." Is it the gods or gods?
It's dead. Who cares? Oh, it's In the Valley of Gods. I'm sorry, not the gods.
I don't even know if we've said that already.
We definitely have said the gods.
And won't be moving on to anything else at Valve, which, you know, hey, games get canceled all the time. That's part of the business.
It's hard business learning for you.
But that sucks.
Yeah,
That's suck stick feedback.
He was disappointed to be done. You know what's not disappointed to be done? Omaha Steaks.
Oh!
Brian, why don't we do it again?
For Campo Santo, getting to work for Valve is a huge opportunity. And yeah, it's a lot higher profile, and they're probably making more money too.
Yeah.
Valve money.
Like double stake ad read money. From Valve's perspective, Campo Santo had a lot of experience making good first-person games, and that was a perfect fit for their new Half-Life VR game.
So Rod can pretty much confirm that to Polygon, saying, as you can imagine, our experience in the first-person adventure genre is pretty relevant. You hear a lot about how at Valve you can work on what you want. It turns out that's true, and there's a lot of work available. As we integrated ourselves into Valve, it became clear there was a lot of valuable work to be done on Half-Life Alyx.
That name sounds so dumb read out loud.
You know what's also integrated? Omaha Steaks with your mouth.
Oh, triple money! Let's go, Brian!
I'm selling my own sponsorships on the side.
Based on what he's saying there, it could be that Valve gave them the option to work on whatever they want, and they decided to take a break from In the Valley of Gods and work on Half-Life Alyx instead. They might have liked the change of scenery, who knows?
Meanwhile, whatever Campo Santo's motivations are, Valve probably wants all hands on deck when it comes to the new Half-Life game, which is pretty much just all hands if you've seen that trailer. There hasn't been a new one in years, and Valve certainly knows that there will be a lot of expectations surrounding it.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why we haven't seen Half-Life 3.
Or as I like to call it, life and a half.
Oh, math. Yeah, in a recent interview with Jeff Keighley, Robin Walker of Valve admitted that the idea of Half-Life 3 was a terrifyingly daunting prospect.
So this new Half-Life has got to be good. But also, this could be the first must-have game for VR, and that's a technology that Valve in particular has been very bullish on.
You know what I'm bullish on? The low prices at AutoZone.
Brian, no, we can't make that much money. The IRS is already on to us.
No, he said AutoZone. We switched up the sponsor. Come on, Connor, get in the zone. Yeah, Gabe Newell, the Lord and Master of Valve, has been on VR for years now.
We haven't seen him because he's just been hooked in.
Pulls the plug out of the back of his head. It's been how long since Half-Life episode 2?
I gotta make a game!
He wants to see it succeed, which means that Valve wants it to succeed, and a game has to be pretty good if it's gonna convince people to go out and spend a lot of money on a VR rig.
Yeah, so from Valve's perspective, you can see why In the Valley of the... So you can see why In the Valley of Gods isn't exactly their first priority. Brian, tell us more about that.
Yeah, but that's not all the ex-Campo staffers are working on at Valve. Some are definitely full-time on Half-Life Alyx, but Rodkin said that others are working on the Auto Battler Dota Underlords. Others are on Steam. Again, maybe just Valve gave them the choice, and they're like, we don't want to work on In the Valley of Gods anymore. We wanted to add a "the" in there, and y'all wouldn't let us, so we're going to work on all this other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's what... Sorry. Zach's laughing about gas. Tiny little burps.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get acquired by a bigger company. They put you to work on stuff they've got going on. Your indie game about Egypt is gonna have to wait its turn.
No!
Speaking of Egypt, there's never been a better time to go to adamandeve.com.
Yeah, the problem is that we're talking about Valve here, and they do what they want when they want, but some people are bummed that an interesting indie game might never see the light of day. That's understandable.
Over on Reddit, always a great way to start a sentence, in discussions about this topic, user Mogwai Injustice wrote, there was so much I wanted to see from this team, and almost none of that was seeing them work on Valve games / Half-Life. Happy for all the people who are excited for what that team is working on now, and for the developers themselves who seem excited about it, but for me, it feels like the death of a very promising studio. Ooh.
That's pretty profound from Mogwai Injustice.
Are those little things from Gremlins?
Yeah.
It's not a country adjacent to Egypt? I was like 90% sure it wasn't.
There is a country that's kind of like Mogwai in its spelling.
It's called Flavor Country. Marlboro cigarettes.
Oh!
There's nothing I like to take a draw on while playing a good VR game like the smooth taste of Marlboro Reds.
Will it be enough to get you to shell out a big bunch of cash on a VR rig?
Yes.
Oh, all right, well, we're good.
That answers that.
It may not be Half-Life 3, but it's what fans have been waiting for years. Valve returning to the universe that they created, finally.
Yeah, and more than that, it's Valve making video games again. Real games, not just card battling moneymakers.
Oh, theoretical